Hello, Polytopians. Welcome to the stream. As you all know, the World Championship qualifiers are in full swing. So far, 4 players have secured their spots in the November face-off. Today, we'll be showing you the Imperious qualifier, won by Arthur, and the Barter qualifier, taken by Slimming Boy. Expect night chains, cloaks, rider roads, and plenty of arrows flying around. So brace yourselves for some serious action. If you'd like to join the qualifiers, all the details are in the description. Let's begin.
Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. I'm MijiTube, and today with me, as a week before, Inno and Tolbby. Hi guys, good to have you here.
Hey. Great to be back.
Excited about the Imperious Barter confrontations ahead of us?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, 2 of the basic tribes. It's great to see going back to the basics and see what could be done with both of these.
Okay, so let's move on to the games. I'm adding your screen, Tolbby. Yep. So let's see who's playing here.
Alrighty, so in Imperious, our star player here is going to be Arthur. In this game, he's going to be playing as the Yellow Imperious, and he's going to be playing against Stellar Viper 881, getting the first third advantage.
Which stage of the tournament is it? I think I asked Force to put it in the...
This one is the... They're all marked the same.
Seriously? Okay. Sorry. Yeah, so it's definitely the qualifier. Yeah, I'll have a look myself. What's in there?
All right, while we take care of that technical difficulty, Eno, what are your first thoughts on taking a look at this opening spawn on this map?
Look at Arthur's spawn to the southwest, all of that water. Now, it doesn't seem like it's a big lake. You see some shorelines further west, but it's going to cut off his access, make it a little more difficult for him to get around. There's going to be that one village in between them that should be heavily contested, and it's going to be kind of hard maybe for Arthur to go pick up a ton of other villages later on. Slimming Boy might, or not Slimming Boy, not playing in the Imperious ones. But
yeah,
this Blue Imperious down here might be having an easier time, more land access. We'll have to see how the lakes shape out, though.
Absolutely. A lot more flexibility for the blue player, so also taking the first turn advantage, it's actually going to be up to Arthur to try to turn this bad situation around and see what he can do to make a comeback. Without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started with the replay of the game. Let them take their first turns, upgrading their capitals, each gaining a workshop.
And they head for both 2 separate villages.
And
Arthur doesn't
immediately,
have too much backup.
the starting directions for each of these warriors is actually very interesting, making it very difficult for Blue to make a big comeback. He does have a warrior already trained in order to help contest the starting city. What are you thinking about this from Arthur's point of view?
This is already very tactical. He's got that warrior that he's put on this village, but he doesn't have any. The second warrior he sent straight west, and it cannot help defend in time. So if we see the Blue Imperious player here attack, that sets up this second warrior to go and get a full health siege on this city. So Arthur's going to have a really hard time actually capturing that city. Probably going to have to take the kill on the 5 health, walk away. If he had the warrior to help support, then he could just go ahead and train a rider. Wouldn't have to worry about the full health warrior sieging. Could go ahead and capture. But as it is, Arthur's claim to that village is going to be delayed for a long time. You just gotta see how they play it out, though. Very tactical.
Very tactical indeed. So I Agree with you on this part. He's going to have to make that trade, assuming that there's backup already on the way, especially since he's not going to be able to support themselves. Oh, he actually backs off of the village, which is going to allow this rider to start gaining more access or just heading back for some defense.
That's a neat move. Yeah, he saved himself.
Getting a workshop in the back city all the way here, roading forward. So he's going to start wrapping around to the west.
Kind of a dangerous move where you're assuming, like, yeah, my opponent, like, I'm just, you're not putting anything on there to actually stop him from just claiming that village right away.
That's a single level up. That's another level up. 2 cities already level 3, and with the access to roads, is going to be able to make a big offensive.
Yeah, he got a little greedy there. He could not actually claim that village. Ends up losing way more units than he needed to.
10 stars to 7. Arthur's actually already running away with the economy against Blue, despite Blue having a ton more territory. He's got 1, 2, 3 free cities to himself. So, by all means, Arthur should actually be on the back pedal, but he's applying the pressure here.
He's maneuvering his units around just low, stronger ways here, and it seems like he's, should this continue, Arthur's going to be the one who ends up claiming that village between them.
This is very important to be discussing as well as unit count. So not only do we have more road connections, but we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 healing, 6 units for Arthur, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, where do you think this big discrepancy of troops and economy came from?
Arthur's been picking up some nice trades and everything, but it can't help him that, look at that west city around the water. He's kind of reticent to train anything on there. There's nothing that he's doing expanding out to the west. He took an explorer hoping maybe find another village to road onto. Technically there is one, but it's quite a ways in the distance.
Yeah.
He's been focusing much more of his economy on needing to keep his opponent off this village. So no units from that third city, whereas 4 villages for his opponent, and he's been training. So that's 6 to 7 unit count. Pretty similar, but after those 2 kills that Arthur picks up here, he's slightly in the lead still, just because he's his opponent's been trying to force his hand, you can't train units, you're spending all your stars on roads. I'm gonna step on this village, you have to kick me off, and Arthur says, okay, I can kick you off every turn. I'm gonna keep doing that.
Yeah, even with the accessibility of bridges, he's only going to be able to get 1 more city. These mountains are absolutely blocking him off, so without the idea of sailing, which is really expensive, looks like Arthur's game plan is going to be all in on the riders. Making a few more key trades and immediately setting up. And look at that, warriors from every single village. He knows his outs, he knows his game plan, and what he needs to do to secure the win. 3 units from Arthur. Meanwhile, we have another explorer.
I'm pretty aggressive on those explorers. The big thing, this is, a little abstract because it's not like a city's being exchanged or anything, but just look at how Arthur's commanding space around here. It's becoming more and more difficult to even train units on this Blue Imperius' capital. A couple turns back, he was stepping on that village, trying to claim it. Just a unit plus minus in actually taking that city between their capitals.
Yep, and with a veteran warrior upgrading right in the face of the capital, Arthur's actually saying, no, we're not fighting for the village. I'm fighting you for your capital, and the village will be mine anyways, whether you like it or not. But look at this. Not a single unit was trained except for 1 rider. We have 3 empty villages from Blue. Let's take a quick look at Stellar's point of view real fast to see what he's seeing in this scenario, and he's seeing all these units being trained by Arthur, and all of them are beelining towards the front line. So it's actually really interesting to see the sort of play going from 12 stars, what he's investing into, just getting some levels in economy. I'm starting to think that he's getting a little overzealous, assuming that he's going to have the superior production and that Arthur is going to have to answer to him in a potential giant in the nearby future. That seems really, really boastful and real gutsy.
I mean, especially like you look at this and see, oh, he's putting the 9 health rider on that village, or he could have to just claim it straight up. I don't know what Arthur's vision was. Must have assumed that there were some riders on those 2 cities. And there we go. As soon as the problems are evident, now that's when the riders start popping up.
Yeah, but at this point, it's too little too late. A couple riders just calculated. We have our 3 units completely walling off. Access to the village. Looks like Arthur's going to be able to get a much stronger front to allow his riders to heal. Meanwhile, in the back, while he's applying a ton of pressure, he decided to sneak in a couple of ports.
Easy level 3 upgrade, access to that village, cheap, almost as cheap as the bridges. That gets in the city upgrade. And look at that killer monument. The trade's a kill is.
And look at that.
Ooh, the little spiteful border grove. I'm going to steal those resources if I can't take the village.
It's going to be a little bit slower to get the giants, but he has the same amounts of access, if not a little bit more. But he's also behind in the giants game. Being able to connect his last 2 cities, maximizing his economy as much as possible, getting that level 3. It's time to start pushing forward and try to make a counterplay. However, he's throwing out warriors. Another telling tale that the economy is a little bit low. He might not be able to keep up or respond to the amount of pressure that's being thrown at his door.
It's certainly a little lagging. The giant's like not all too friendly. Like eats warriors and riders for breakfast. Like they've got an even city count right now, but Arthur's gonna pick up that 6th city. Huge bazaar over in the west. Like control space all around that 1 city, and boom, that's where the Navy comes in. Big bomber.
Without being able to see what's going on, there's a bomber able to absolutely prevent any more access.
Yeah, so we actually could you switch the vision so we could see what they see?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Doesn't even see it. That bomber is completely hidden. He had no way of telling. The only clue he had is the fact that these borders right here, despite knowing that this is a water tile here and a water tile here due to no shoreline, only has a faint clue that another village is here in the fog, but has not been able to do anything about it. And now his city is being sieged, and his access into the water is already being limited thanks to that bomber.
Ramming.
There it is, the first of many rammers. Trying to get as many units on the sea as possible. However, even though another siege is going to Newt, it's staying at level 1, so not much is being lost. It's mostly just free healing territory and an extra fund for defensive bonuses.
That's a very disrespectful raft placement. Like, yeah, your rimmer's not gonna reach me. He buys sailing, takes it down to 1 health, but not enough for the kill. And that bomber will come back into the game, heal up.
Absolutely, with how expensive those bombers are, keeping it alive is essential, especially for trying to win this game, or else you'd be losing 15 plus stars of production. That juggernaut is trying to get in there to chase that bomber down. But look at this front we have here. We have a juggernaut applying pressure onto the water. This rammer looks like it's doing a lot, but with how many scouts we have here in the back, potential rammer access as well. Heck, even just moving another Juggernaut onto the water, that rammer's not long for this world. We got one giant, two giants from blue over here that looks like they're trying to apply defense, but these two giants here are just barely placed in the right position. He can't leave. Moving forward the wrong step, those giants are going to melt. So what does he do? Picks up the knights here in the background, trying to see if there's any way he can sneak in a little bit of a chain all the way around to the back with the entire goal of wiping out this entire army. We'll see if that pays off.
That's something Arthur can play around, but he has to be careful. One misstep, and that could be a really bad loss of a city.
Look at that. The bomber is actually running away from that Juggernaut. Very beautiful placement.
And it feels like the big problem on land for a Blue Imperious player, because I don't think I need to say that Arthur is dominating in the water. Just
No,
that
you don't
one
have
city,
to.
those two giants blocking
You don't
in there.
have to say it.
Yeah, I don't know about these sieges I've been seeing on that really low-level city with an explorer, like 2 stars for Arthur, losing a lot of health. It does heal off, and it feels like it's, easy stars, but you're losing 2 stars to warrior that he kills to get that siege, and you're not accomplishing all too much. Feels like you need to keep those riders healthier and use them to deal with the giant, let your knights go through, start causing big problems. Arthur redirecting his own giants. Get this big siege in the center. Not quite enough, though. The riders are in there. Let me go ahead, pick up the nice unsiege. Arthur picks up another giant with that last
Another
lighthouse.
giant, yeah.
And important, again, to say last lighthouse. Where does he want to put that monument?
The Eye of
It's a
God is
wall.
successful. 3 pops.
And boom.
In the west.
Right over in the west, just some stars. Maybe free up some pop space.
However, at this point, with how much of a dominating lead Arthur has on the water, it almost is up to Stellar in order to make a big land push. But there's one thing. This single tile here in the east, that giant's just been sitting there doing nothing, or at least it would seem that way. But the fact that it is, and now it makes its move to start moving forward, but it's just been sitting there preventing a bunch of access from blue getting in onto land, knowing that all he needs to do is secure that water access, and boom, boom, double bombers, and that is the game.
Bombers run opposed. Well
Yeah,
played,
good game.
Arthur.
Yeah, so tell me in a few words what went wrong for the blue one against Omagi, because our audience thought the Imperious is playing Omagi. Anyway, yeah. So so tell me your thoughts. What could have been done differently in this game for blue?
Tactical oversights. I mean, the big thing is that contest for that central village. When Arthur won that, and then he was able to lock it down successfully for the rest of the game. That's how he won. Any kind of game plan, or I should say successful game plan for the blue player, involves moving through this village here. So in the first case, stepping on there when it wasn't ready to be stepped on, when you weren't able to actually capture it, giving Arthur those easier kills, kind of a mistake. Not keeping enough units around there that lets Arthur grab the village later, that's kind of a mistake. Using your riders and that health on those riders to just keep picking up sieges and then healing it off and wasting turns and time instead of dealing with the giant. That's the real roadblock to you capturing that city. That's a big problem. And all of these things accumulate throughout the course of the game. It gives Arthur enough time to pick up these cities in the west, to actually go grab his bazaar, take this city, and then dominate on the water. So those tactical concerns, real big problem here. That playing cleaner is what won Arthur this game.
Tolbby, anything to add?
Honestly, that was very beautifully put. Essentially, Blue was putting the resources into the wrong place. And even at this early point of time, Blue's just on the back pedal on units, when in theory he should be having more production because he spent a couple too many turns investing into the economy when he should have been getting more units, because if you don't have the units to defend your borders and contest the village that is key and essential for deciding who's going to win and lose this game, then you're going to get exactly what happened in this game, and that's just going to spell disaster.
Do you think that going for like naval for Blue would have like changed the tide of this game?
Well,
if he had gotten those two cities in the west instead of blue, sorry, in yellow or Magi.
Possibly. So there is the idea that he could have started focusing, but at this point, even then, Blue's economy by turn 10, which is the essential turn to understand how good your economy is, he's actually only just barely breaking even, but he's also up one city. So essentially his economy is weaker than Arthur. So he can't really afford a navy, even though he really needs to get on the water.
It kind of goes back to the tactics too. Like if you, instead of playing like I'm going to play for this village, I'm going to put my units on top of it, just said I'm going to go ahead and start picking up the water instead, then it feels like he could have made something. But once he's committed himself to going after that and it didn't pay off, he needs to keep defending that village a little more strongly, keep Arthur off of it, or else the game will play out most like we saw it. He can't both give up that village and access to around his capital in that second city, like Muzrika, without everything starts collapsing at that point. He has to really start defending. Yep, this is the key turn where he decides I'm gonna go for this village and not go into the water.
Sure.
Yeah. And just a little bit of planning ahead, you can already just see right here with the access to riders and roads, one single unit here is not going to be enough. He would need two, and unless he's getting his own roads to rush the rider forward, unfortunately, that game plan is just not in the books.
Alrighty. We have a big request from the audience to you, I know. We need a camera for you. Actually, are you planning a big face reveal during the World Championships or not?
Of course, not before then either. I mean, as we also know, breaking up. The camera does not support that.
Okay. So be there in Stockholm.
Yeah, I guess you have to watch the World Championships while they're happening live, Coin. I don't know.
Yeah.
What is
Okay. So let's move on to game number 2.
Alrighty. While I'm getting this game loaded up. There we go.
Okay. So here is Arthur against Michko, because I don't want you to slaughter the name of the Polish player. Yeah.
Well, the community calls
Michko. Yeah.
Michko.
Yes.
At this point, people kind of know that I do need to just pronunciating things.
Mm.
Alrighty. So, but what I'm loving to see here is Michko is playing as the Liar Patchy skin. I actually really enjoyed that skin for the Imperious players, so we'll get to see a variety of Imperious looking units.
And that's the final of the qualifier.
Qualifier finals.
Yes, finals.
I should mention for any Mishka fans that he, although did not have success in the Imperious one, Arthur took that one earlier today. He did go ahead and qualify with Yadak, so we'll probably be seeing one of them. A very good player.
Yeah, let me use my
Yes.
So yes.
So another one.
A very high level gameplay where we should be seeing here.
Yes. So next week we'll probably do Yadak. We'll see. Okay. Let's focus on the game now.
Alrighty. I'm actually really loving the opening that we have from the Michiko position. We have 4 fruits. We're immediately adjacent to the lighthouse, and we have a little bit of vision about where we should potentially go. But from Archer's point of view, it's really tricky to see where he can go. He's got 2 potential positions to be going, but it's really difficult to see how the opening should be. Are you heading to the water? Are you heading to the land? What's your instincts telling you?
Looking at this again, I'm like, oh my gosh, deja vu. You've got the drylands position of all the villages for one player, and Arthur cut off by the lake from everything. Except this time it's even worse. It's not like there's a village behind him to grab and one for right ahead of him. I'm looking at that bare and empty field tile right ahead. So I'm like, where are his villages? Maybe if he heads south and then southeast between those fish. But it's also lakes. Looking at the absent shoreline in some places. If I'm Arthur, I'm already cursing my position, saying, please, I'd love to have villages. It's gonna be tough for him for sure. I'm more curious just to see. He's a smart guy. Like, what does Arthur do here?
That one is going to be very tricky. This is going to be one interesting little lake because we do have this one single lake tile. Well, this 7 spaces lake tile. Luckily, we have shorelines telling us there is more, but without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. Let both players get their opening workshops. And there's the lighthouse opening play.
And the bridge. So there's hope for Arthur.
Ooh. Yeah, the one place. That field tile indicating no villages at all around it. Arthur heads west and actually lucks out, finds a village there. Has his own lighthouse to pick up, even everything's up, his own level 3 capital.
That's a free fishing for Michiko. However, there's not a lot of water access for him. So right now, that's currently a dead tech, but free techs are still free, especially with the importance of water on a lakes map. We'll see how well he's going to take advantage of this.
And even if not counting score, sees that lighthouse come up and knows, wow, he's got good vision on me. Whoa, yeah, did we see that? You gotta show that a little bit again.
Which part for?
Oh, no, just for Michiko's turn. The tech that he just picked up. Can I believe my eyes here?
I'm sorry I had missed it. We're going to go ahead and move forward. So there's the meeting bonus and immediately
Lighthouse.
Gets that vision. That is currently perfect vision of Michiko.
Meets Arthur.
It's philosophy. Somebody has been watching a whole bunch of Justini Linguini videos and inspired to be getting a Philo rush. I am excited to see where this leads to.
Maybe it's that game they had in Poly Titans against Anva. I don't know how many people here remember that, but I'm sure someone does. Philosophy's got some really exciting games at this level. It's kind of a do not try at home situation.
I think it's mostly continents. I don't think Justini tried many times on lakes, but
yeah,
let's
Ultra Peace and a quick giant here.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Smithery and Philosophy might be seeing some markets pop up soon.
That is a
patient with the water.
A
sailing
cake.
Off.
Now, I am loving this map. This is my favorite style of maps when it comes to lakes, is when you have multiple...
Because it's actually lakes, not a lake.
It's actually lakes. We got 1, 2, 3, at least 4 whole bodies of water, all disconnected. So if you lose in one of them, I guess let's try to secure another.
And boom, both players ending up with Smithery here. Loving what I'm seeing. Sorry for a little later on the giant, but he's got a command and control of the villages. His biggest question is, can I defend against this Juggernaut here.
And we're seeing deja vu from last week. We've got a Juggernaut here in the center being absolutely bombarded by a warrior with a scout trying to ping it down. Immediately goes down, but that Juggernaut is very exposed. We're going to see if the Juggernaut's going to be able to hold the Central Lake this week. As we are now discovering, there goes a second Juggernaut from Pilosum.
Biggest weakness on this position for Arthur is this Pimo City. Like Mixie said, that should have been mine. I'm going to take it. Ooh, Minchko. The two Juggernauts going right in. Rammer supporting. One port. Minchko wants to dominate that lake. Arthur's firing back his own Juggernaut. He's got to do something to defend this Pimo City from the Giant. So first, yeah, fires off an Explorer. And runs back for his territory, so probably not the happiest moment of his life. Ooh, yeah, saving it with the 1 health scout.
Oh, barely is able to hold on. Now, this is the amazing thing. We've got double the production for Arthur. Look at this massive line of units completely dominating the entire center of the map. Oh, we're gonna switch back over to there.
Could we actually switch to Michko's vision for a sec?
Absolutely. We're going to go ahead and switch back to Michiko's. You don't see it, but this is a very dire situation to be looking in.
Yeah, I watched this game, and it's like because he actually lost two cities. This one in the middle. This is like Pima or Prima. I don't see it exactly, and then the one in the north, in the south. Sorry. Because of the lack of the vision, because it's like, he was so sure stepping on it will be safe, but it wasn't.
Yep, and unfortunately, all this space right here. So much potential for Village, but there's nothing there for Michko, so he's got to invest everything into this front onto the water, but we've got 1 Juggernaut, we got 2, we've got multiple units here preventing access to the water on these tiles over here. It's looking pretty dire. Be looking
like
for
the exact opposite.
Be looking for catapults. Instead, Michiko goes for the cloaks. Look at this perfect vision for Arthur.
Yeah, many explorers versus none. Michiko loves that extra star. And he has vision on everything he needs vision on too, like, to be clear. But yeah, you can't help but feel like he's kind of cursing like how this ended up going. He was able to retake that 1 city, but it's still going to be 7 against 4 now.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually now 8 against 3 because Arthur managed to snipe with the power of Riders and Roads and take that away from
Pimo.
Yeah,
he is upgrading it. Yeah, he's going to push off.
Oh, no!
Not even the hope for 7-4, 8-3. That's where the Eye of God comes in.
That is very
cloak.
unfortunate. The first of many cloaks, but there are so many units on this city. There's nowhere for those daggers to spawn. One very odd counter to cloaks and daggers is just have too many units within your tiles for no daggers to spawn. It just barely misses.
Misjudging where that cloak is.
50-50 and unfortunately misses. That's like another cloak that's going to be able to land.
Yeah, and if he'd kept the riders in the back, he would have had more tiles.
On the first chain.
First of many chains. That is a 3 chain right there. Fortunately, that's as far as that's able to go. However, at this point, we do have a lot of pressure being applied, and now Arthur is making the counterattack. It now is going to come down to, are these cloaks and knights going to be able to do what needs to be done? Unfortunately, that giant just barely lives. And that's the first of many bombers. And with that, that cloak has been wiped off the map.
He was able to withstand the attack, and his position's strength just speaks for itself. There's no foothold that Michiko can get to actually take any of these cities.
Oh,
So after a
man.
nice intense 20 turns, quick resign.
Yeah.
That was very well played, though. Michiko did go with the superior technology. I loved the philosophy rush, but unfortunately it was too low to pick up the city of Pimo.
Yeah, he's not Justini. So,
Yeah. He'll have to continue to practice that strat.
yeah. Yeah, so what happened here? What do you think was the breaking point?
I mean, it feels like a lot of really early game stuff, like the fact that Arthur was able to take that west city, or he had the it's kind of like the knowledge of like how lakes maps like are generated, like that he knows that he should be pushing like double west instead of going like west southwest and all around. If he was like a turn later, then there's a very good chance that he would have just lost that village. Michiko could have been faster on picking up the one in the center. There would have been something more to fight for, maybe. But as it is, it's really just looking at that huge missing, like everything down in the south. No villages to expand out into, no hope. And he makes the most out of the 3 villages that he has, but look at that line. Look at that bazaar that Arthur has.
Yeah, it's really hard to say like where exactly this went wrong. It was Michiko went all in on a much stronger economic game, but unfortunately did not have the unit production to back it up. Because at this point we have swordsmen, but now Arthur's able to start catching up and improve the economy because there's absolutely no pressure. And when you have more cities and the better economy, yeah, that spells disaster for the person that's having to play catch up.
I feel like that Juggernaut might have been a mistake. It gets him some good control around that lake and helps him defend himself, but it feels like that is misplaced and that giant needs to have been going after Pimo. If he was able to do that and have a game at like 4 cities on 5, still disadvantaged, maybe they both claim the cities further to the southeast. Playing from just 1 city down, but being up philosophy, making something happen with, cheaper access to diplomacy and chivalry, knights, cloaks, then maybe something could have happened. But heading into the lake and then not being able to siege Pimo, and by the time that he actually does get that giant siege, having it pushed off by Arthur, that's when the game's fully like there's nothing left playing for.
Yep.
I full-heartedly agree. I think heading over to make the preemptive play of I need to be fighting for this village here, I do believe you're right that was probably the game-defining turn. That gives up way too much territory. He was trying to secure the kill on both the warrior and the scouts, which does make sense. But this warrior and scout's not really doing much. But that city of Pimo is cutting you off from the entire rest of the map. And with this swordsman right here, able to move over 1 tile, setting up for the siege, definitely would have been the much smarter play.
Yeah, but we also have to say that Michiko was kind of reckless, like stepping on this Pimo city and then the one in the south. So he could have kind of, seeing that coming, that Arthur maybe he has the riders there or warriors to knock him off. So I think it wasn't a good decision. They were not good decisions overall.
They definitely did not pay off. I think we got 20 minutes for another game.
Yep. Let's go.
All right, give me a moment to get this last game set
And then
up.
we'll have a bit of a surprise for our viewers.
However, after that game, I honestly really liked Michiko, so I really hope we could see more of him. So,
Yeah, we will with Yadak. I'm hoping to invite him if he qualified.
we get another one. This time, Michiko is going to be playing as the blue.
Against
Same
Arthur.
colors too, flipped.
Oh, yeah, the same colors, but they are flipped.
Yep.
And funny enough to say that the other color for Imperious is actually using the Yadak color. Spoiler from the World Championship premieres.
Mm.
It was destined. He was supposed to be Yadak. Alrighty.
Yes, Destiny.
So we have Arthur again playing as Imperious in the north, and Michiko playing as Liar Patchy here in the south. This time, seeing something similar, a lot of access to water, but the script is reversed. Arthur has much more access onto the land.
Yeah, it feels really abundant just with the resources in every direction. Like no field tile is telling you no villages. And this is a rarer kind of spawn for a 1v1. The 4 quadrants that you have, if you spawn anywhere, you got a 2/3 chance that they are adjacent to you, and 1/3 that you spawn opposite like this. So probably going to see more time for, economy to develop and grow. This might be a better place to go for those philosophy strats too. Maybe not. Expansion is pretty important. We'll have to see how they take advantage of the really nice looking spawns. Ideal, dreamlike.
We're going to get the started with the game. Let both players pick up their starting workshops. No fancy lighthouse plays this time. Getting our first level up. Because of the clouds here in the south, opts not to go for an explorer and go with a safer workshop. Not planning on gambling away the win right there.
Sorry, it's lakes or continents this time?
It's
lakes for sure.
Lakes. Okay.
Well, big thing here, they went for a little different strategy. They had remarkably similar resources with the 2 fruits and then 3 animals in the capital. But Michiko actually goes to the triple warrior opening, trying to expand more quickly, while Arthur plays a little more economically. 2 warriors, but upgrades the capital to level 3 with hunting right away. Actually, really important to get hunting as well, looking at this third city over in the west. That 2 fruits are not good enough to upgrade on its own.
And a bunch of trees everywhere for the potential of forestry, in case we want to see a forestry rush for a big economic push.
Yeah. Some mathematics and trade stuff. Already going forestry, yeah, playing very economically. And right on time, too, to get this.
Yeah.
Do we see roads to try to kick him off?
We
Yes.
do!
A
The
lot of
aggressive
roads, very
road
expensive.
Oh, but in this case, absolutely worth it. Gambling that there's
Ooh,
nothing.
pop ruin.
Nice. Yeah, population.
Yeah, it sets up all his riders to go contest this village further northeast. Gets 5 stars back immediately, easier access to giant as soon as he gets hunting, really.
And is able to quickly find out this is a very safe capture. And is able to secure the other village with his rider. And at this point, you got to assume that Arthur is feeling a little bit caught off guard as suddenly 3 riders just came out of nowhere, picks up the mathematics quickly, gets himself a giant. And look at this big economic boom. Oh, the forestry chop play. Border growth. Trying to cut off all the access, but instead of capturing, goes for the aggressive kill.
It's a zero-sum game. You gotta everything your opponent gets is something you lose. Cannot let Arthur get a single village. Ideally, Michiko's gonna get both of them, just delayed a couple turns.
Pick up an explorer, get ourselves a scout, and look at that. is able to see everything. That is not what you want to see, or I guess it is technically, but that is a catapult able to lock down Doroip, but instead secures the kill to protect his own city.
Yeah, Arthur goes riding into the Star Ruin. This is how you know he's been setting up those trade spots, those markets, and he is ready. He's got the stars now with that ruin up north.
Grand Bazaar all the way over here on the eastern city, quickly getting himself a giant, pushing that 2 HP rider off, ready to start.
Nice. Some sabotage, cutting this forest in the city where which he'll lose Michiko.
Let's see the door up forest cut too for sure.
Possibly see
Or
that
not.
last forest get cut to prevent
Yep. Yes.
economy. And there it is. It's gone. Goodbye, trees.
And archery, wonderful when you already have roads set up. Because what does Arthur has? A couple of giants and then some catapults. What does well into both? Quick into archer. Yep, gonna take that catapult down to 1 health. Really neuter it. And say, I'm comfortable in my position where I have all these stars. It's really, really, not just in terms of colors and like host, but like, it seems really like a reversal of the last game, where Arthur has fewer cities, didn't play as expansionist, but he's got this, not instead of philosophy, like markets and trade set up for his economy to be going better than Michiko's. So, it's just not as dramatic on the city count front, 4 against 5. Are these markets going to be enough?
And
He's
we're
just got to
seeing
do something.
a
Even if they
big
got the
wave
city.
of archers immediately applying pressure onto the city. You got to assume that a couple of markets going to go down.
Boom, the veteran catapult. Heals off all that damage. Back to full attack.
And there it is, the killer monument being able to push that giant off, buying himself yet another turn. But with that, we now have 4 catapults here in the south and a very boastful market. I'm actually interested. Hold on. What's going on over here? Why is this market over here instead of this tile right here? Am I missing something? 3?
It's the same level.
It's the same level. Okay.
Mm.
I had the same thought as you, though, that it was going to be in that tile north of the city, but ends up all working out the same.
And look at that. We are actually also having
Knights are coming.
water access this time from Michiko, applying pressure on multiple fronts. We got the land fronts with archers. Unfortunately, archers are slow, so without proper road access, these catapults are going to be perfect. And there it is, the first of many knights. Arthur is ready to take out every single one of these and is gambling the fact that, oh, there's the first.
Yeah, Michiko sees it.
Yeah,
He's
but
like,
no
"I'm not gonna
chain.
get any chains."
Yeah, it was a nice play, but no chain.
No chain, and immediately destroys the bridge, telling his opponent, oh wait,
It's in
yeah,
short,
that's right, I
moved.
forgot, it was swapped over and switched to that. Destroys the bridge, so that way there's no reverse access for Michiko. It's going to be a very expensive draw bid bridge play, but at this point, very much a necessity.
Arthur's got a few more stars to work with, and yeah, more income, fewer cities, cheaper techs, but he's still got his work to do because Michiko's going to take up this city in the west, has the advantage on the water, this dangerous bomber.
Not
Arthur
anymore.
needs to figure out some way that he can spend all of his stars and actually pick up some kind of advantage in sieging these cities, or gain some space. He's doing with Aquatism Rammers right now. Defenders, Aquatism Rammers. And he's hounding after that bomber. He's like, you've been a pain to me. A pest. You need to leave me alone. But not quite able to kill it yet. Bomber's running away. It's kind of comedic. whenever you see a bomber just tailing it.
That
booking
bomber
it.
will die, but he does pick up a starfish, some starfishes.
Yeah, but look how many knights does Michko have.
Yeah,
I
like
think
5
he might
knights
have
down
like
there.
overcommitted to those knights.
Yeah, a while back when Arthur had all those catapults around his capital, and it would have got, that unbreakable siege if he could just break through one giant. This would have been a perfect setup. But things have changed. Arthur's, he's not giving any big chains, even if you do break through the giant. He's not really worried about that kind of thing.
Yeah, so it's like, how many does he have? Like 6. So it's like 48 stars just sitting there.
And Michiko's attacks on the water is fizzling out. The stars are running out, whereas these defense-boosted Aquatism Defender Rammers just keep growing in number, just keep gaining him space over there.
And is a couple tiles short from picking up that lighthouse. So Arthur's actually securing an advantage on the water. Actually,
yeah. Spooky Knight wants to get a bridge in the future if you train anything on Molo that he doesn't like.
Now that we're looking at it, there's no extra water access, so it's really difficult for Michiko to fight for this water. So the fact that he's lost all this pressure... Oh, the Night Chain!
Big Night Chain.
Yeah, let's watch it
all
again.
those defenders, and there's no way to get this on siege. No sensible way for several turns.
Yep.
The giant comes in on the next turn to support. Michiko realizes, I'm losing the city. I don't have the markets. I'm losing the water too.
It's absolutely
no
beautiful. Even taking advantage of the single water tile here in the east to get a rammer to apply the extra pressure to the eastern city. So what started off as 2 cities for Michiko ended up flipping over to Arthur, secures the water advantage, and at this point, Michiko is just losing all steam, and especially against an opponent that is using markets, you're not catching back up behind an economy like that. I actually want to test this game to a very beautiful foresight from Arthur. Right over here on turn 7, realizing that there are a whole bunch of riders and he is very vulnerable. Seeing right over here that there is water, so this is at least a water tile here. The land access is very limited, so leveling up his cities and spending all of his resources to level up the central city of Molisha. Using his monument, a massive chop play, following it up with the border growth. That cuts off all of that access on that city, allowing him to at least define this eastern city as his and able to apply a whole bunch more pressure and defend all in one fell swoop. This play accomplishes so much.
Absolutely. Looking at Molisha, like, that city needs defended. He can't leave it open unless a rider just goes in there with roads. He can't leave it empty, otherwise the warriors and riders come in and siege him. But with the border growth, suddenly Militia's not getting sieged, and you can save it to get a giant. This is also, even though the riders go through the way they do in the game, now that giant from your capital, you're going to be able to take that city back. And you're going to have this 4 cities, the nice mathematics setup. You're going to enjoy that position. It's something that you can defend. It's playable.
What started off as a 3-5, or heck, actually a 3-6 city game, very quickly turns around. It was very well played by Arthur, taking this honestly bad situation, seeing his route out, how to minimize the risks, and then just one turn at a time, secure the water and secure the win. Very beautiful. This one is definitely a game to rewatch if you're trying to see how you want to improve your play.
Yep, very good example. Okay, so time for our surprise. We have our Imperious champion with us. Hi, Arthur.
Hi, everyone.
Can you hear us?
Yes. Can you hear us? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. So great to have you on the stream. So tell us how the Imperious qualifiers went for you. How was this
Yeah,
road
so
that you took?
hold on. Can you guys still hear me? Just
Yes,
picking up a bit.
everything is fine. At least I can hear you. Do you guys hear Arthur?
I hear him loud and clear.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I guess now
Okay.
I don't.
I guess I don't know.
He's gone. That he's with us, so maybe some microphone adjustment and
Means
Let's
I'm gonna have
wait.
to play in the background.
Yeah, so for me in this game, while we are waiting for Arthur, this night spam was a big surprise. Actually, I was so stunned how Michko lost.
I mean, it makes sense to go with the idea of knights because the knights are a good counter against the catapults, especially in this kind of situation. But the knights aren't able to kill the front line and get back to the catapults. So even though he had support,
Yes, sorry, Toby. Can you hear us, Arthur?
Yes, sorry. It looks like my Wi-Fi just cut out. Everything should be
Okay.
well. Apologies for that.
Yes. So, did you hear my question?
Yeah, you were saying how did they go?
Yep.
Well,
Yes.
you can.
Yeah. So tell us about the qualifications, different stages. How did it go for you?
Sure, yeah. So obviously, as people might know from reading the instructions, I had to do some qualifying matches a few weeks ago. I guess even more than a month ago now. So I was able to play a quick tournament, win that one, and then we play a final qualifier for each of the tribes. And so I believe about now that was maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. Played some strong opponents. You can see the game on the screen right now, obviously, against Mixu. A very long, tough game, well fought from both of us, I'd say. And as we can all know, the qualifiers went well for me, and here I am. I'll be representing Imperious, so really excited for that. Definitely love that you guys are watching this game right now. Probably one of the better games I've just played overall in my time playing Polytopia. I think I first picked up this game maybe back in 2019. Took a short break for a couple of years, and then came back right after the Path of the Ocean update. So that was really fun. So yeah, everything went well. I'm really excited to play in the face-offs in a couple weeks.
Was Imperious your first choice, or
honestly, I'm not quite sure. After the recent balance changes, there's definitely the tribes are a lot more even now, so it's really hard to say. And initially, I thought that Luxador was going to be kind of the strongest tribe. Back in 2019, it started with a level 3 capital. Then it got changed, and now we're back at a level 3 capital. Obviously, there's a bit of a difference from back then, but thought that would be pretty strong. Then I did some kind of experimentation playing with some other players. Played a lot of Luxador versus Hudrick matches and never won a single one. So definitely not surprised here. So honestly, I don't know which I think that the team has done a great job balancing the tribes, and so everything, maybe there's a few outliers, but a lot of tribes have a pretty good chance. But I'm very happy with Imperious.
One last from me. So which game on this road to qualifier championship was the toughest one for you?
So definitely definitely the 2 games against Mixu.
So the final.
Yeah, the finals, the hardest opponent. I've played Mixu lots before. I believe Mixu actually qualified for one of the tribes in this round. So
yes, it's Yadek. So you will face him again, probably.
Yeah, so hopefully it goes well for me again. But this game here, I'm not sure if you guys already looked at the other game in the final. I think
yes, we did. Yeah.
Yeah. So that game where he went philosophy was definitely very interesting, pretty unique game there. And so both of these were very hard. And unfortunately, the replay system, you can't see the clock. But both games, the time pressure was definitely on us for both.
Were you timing out you and your opponent or not?
I think especially for the other game. So this one wasn't as bad because since I had really high level cities, I had extra time and not as many
Mhm.
units to move. But for the other game, both me and Mixu were both timing out near
Okay.
the end. A little bit of
Okay.
unfinished turns, a little bit of rushing. But honestly, that's what makes it more fun, anyways.
Yeah, so I absolutely agree. For the live streams, this clock, even if it's not very accurate, like to the second, it would like show a lot. Yeah. Anyway, do you have questions to Arthur, guys? I know, Tolbby, anything?
There's some questions like personally, but some questions about the game in specific. Like, I might qualify it. Like, would you like to answer a personal question, game specific question more?
Whatever you want to know.
Okay, I want to ask about the border growth, the vision, the border growth, because it's brilliant. It's brilliant. I just want to ask like what you're like, describe it in your own words.
Sure, yeah. I'm not sure who's controlling the screen, but if you want to go back to that turn, probably in and around turn 5 or 6 or 7. Oh yeah, turn 7. Or turn 8, sorry.
No, it's turn 7.
So this was something I reviewed this game with some of my some of the players that I'm pretty close with in some of the Discord servers, and so to be honest with you, I don't know if this was the correct play. My thought process here, so if we could pause maybe, it's really just on that tile, 2 tiles east of Maloika. And so that forest tile I think is really important for me because obviously I know that Mixu has Rider Roads. So yeah, so that tile and also the tile 2 tiles east of the city. So both of those tiles are really important for me, I thought, because when you have roads in your enemy territory, you obviously can't use them, and so the forest will help me defend against riders a little bit better. The problem with all this chopping was that it definitely lowered my giant count by a significant amount. Obviously, you can see that my second city and my capital both were basically shaven to as bare as possible, just for a little bit of the border growth there. So, I mean, obviously I did win, and so it doesn't seem like it was the poorest decision, but it's definitely a hard choice to chop all of that when you have, level 5 and level 6 sawmills that are possible. It's always, those are obviously super efficient. But as you guys can see, I laid it out, so I know you guys probably saw the first marketplace. It's already like a nice level 8 one there. And so kind of balancing that chopping and, still upgrading your cities as high as you need them to be. So I think overall it worked. I was kind of expecting to get this 4th city pretty peacefully. Unfortunately, that did not happen. And so, to be honest, around this point, I wasn't gonna resign because it's it's a final game. I'm gonna play it out. But I was feeling pretty lost. But and then me and Mixu,
I was watching that game. I was like, oh my god! It's like, how did he manage to pull this off?
It doesn't look good here, even though I have good cities and good tech, and I have a really nice market as well. Since I don't have the main concern that I had here is that I didn't have vision on him really at all, and so I didn't know what he had. So it's almost I just had to be super cautious the entire time. One thing I will say is that, as you guys saw, Mixu did go knights, and thankfully, when I was playing this game, I'm constantly checking the scoreboard, and the scoreboard can give you some extra information about what happens. And so I see some of those jumps. I remember I saw a 200, 300 point jump. I'm like, okay, he has knights. I need to be careful. And that was that's why I started bleeding so much time. You have to be so careful with where you move your units. I always have a giant in front to make sure that my catapults won't be in a nice line for his knights. And so, I mean, it really was anyone's game. If I make a slip up and let a knight through, it's definitely over.
Yeah, sure, but like you had so little for like such a long time, and like I don't know, he had all the cards in his hand, and like kind of, this game slipped away. So I think this should have been like 2-1 for you, but like I don't know how he lost this one. Really.
I think one of the big reasons, and we discussed this as well with Mixu after the game, was if you see maybe in like around turn 17 or 18 on his vision. Maybe even later. But he has a lot of knights. They're just kind of sitting there. So
Yeah.
We go forward several turns. Maybe to like 18 or 19-ish. Maybe even more. Like go to maybe turn 20, 21. Yeah. So
Yeah, there they are.
if you see there, he has how many knights is that? That's 6 knights. Just kind of sitting there, right?
Mhm.
And so in this game you obviously want your stars to be used efficiently, and having 50 stars just kind of sitting on the board not doing anything
Mhm. Yeah.
causes the issue, right? And so I was able to make sure that my stars were used on the water, whereas he kind of just had a bunch of stars on land that weren't able to actually push through anywhere.
Because even if you he moved back, and because you have knights, but you don't really have units to kind of make a push. Because you have giants, you have catapults, but they are slow. So if he just moved his unit to the back and invested a lot more in the navy, which was I think very crucial, then I think this game would have been lost for you.
I agree. Yeah, we both agreed as well that instead of going knights, he should have gone navy. Knights are good, but if your opponent is good, knights are easy to defend against. I would say because they're so special with the persist ability. If your opponent knows you have them and has a giant, it's really not too difficult to just place your giant in front and then place your squishy units tile. Like you can see my catapults right now. There's even still they're a little bit separated, just in case.
Yeah. Anything else? I know, Tolbby. Before we let Arthur go.
Imperious or Liar Apache?
Sorry?
Imperious or Little Apache?
Wait,
Arthur?
sorry. I'm not sure if I understood the question.
Do you like the regular
one more?
Yeah.
Oh.
Or the skin? Yeah.
I prefer the regular. I've been playing this game for so long that you can see it. I have the regular as well here going. Just reminds me, this isn't the tribe that I played when I very first started. Barter was really the tribe that I played the most back in 2019 and 2020. That's where I really kind of fell in love with the game. But super happy to play Imperious. Over the past year, before the balance changes, Imperious was pretty much unanimously the strongest tribe. After the balance changes, there was definitely some debate, but like I said earlier, still think that I got a good shot.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Good luck in the face-off. Yeah.
All right.
Let's see how that goes for you. But hopefully you will get to the final.
Yep. Hopefully I'll see you guys in Sweden.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Arthur. Okay, so that's the Imperious games. Now let's move on to the Barter part of the stream. Also 3 games. And our hero is the Slimming Boy. Actually, do you know the Slimming Boy? Have you seen any of his games before he joined the World Championships?
This is actually the first time I'm hearing of Slimming Boy. I haven't been keeping up with Polychamps as much as I should, but I do try to keep an eye on who some key players are going to be. Just that I can load about him during chat. What about
I think he's not on Polychamps. He's nowhere. Yeah,
He's out.
I know.
This was the first time I've seen a Slimming Boy game, Slimming Boy replay. Looking at the people he was beating in this tournament, someone to pay attention to.
Which one?
It's the pink. Yeah, the pinky.
Yeah, there we go. So,
yes, sorry, I forget to mention. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So Eugene versus Slimming Boy. So we're actually going to be having Bergroff versus Barter, the original meta best tribe, way earlier on in the game before Path of Ocean. Do you have any fond memories or recollections of Barter, Eno?
I love Well, actually, I don't know what I say about that one. But coins here, I'll say it specifically to coin. Coin, the big nut, that's barter. All barter all the way. Still more needs to be said. But no, seeing how they've changed, looking at the number of bears down from them, like the still the same. Starting with fewer bears and like the changes just really changed their perception in the community. Still though, ferocious tribe turn 0, strong tribe good if you want to qualify with. I want to see how Slimming Boy deals with whatever we're going to in this game.
Having early access to forestry or even the stronger archery for a strong military and still having flexibility with riding, yeah, Barter has a lot to work with. So let us start the game, begin with our 2 workshops from both players. So Eugene quickly exploring down to the south and making first contact. Very quickly, we get the archer play that we were bringing up. Are you favoring the archer play, or would you be going something more economic?
Archer play is kind of tough, just without, again, we're talking about those animal rates. Where are the animals on the second city? How are you upgrading this past level 1? So the archers are nice to have, of course, but unless you're planning to win the game with, your level 2 capital and your level 1 second city, eventually you're going to have to pivot into something more than just archers. They're nice for controlling. Maybe you play a little defensively for a second, but it could be a problem for Eugene later on. Let me see this explorer, which, it gets vision on that ruin, but it kind of shows how dire the situation is. Fight or die here. You need to steal some of these cities.
Oh, and you find another ruin in the back. So we're really gambling on these ruins, giving something. Heck, even a swordsman's better than nothing. We get a pop growth. Just 2 pops away from being able to get the first giant. Fortunately, giants into archers aren't very strong, but with some potential Rider Rhodes plays, maybe we'll be able to make something work with this.
I think this goes back to talking about earlier with, the whole you need some economic stuff with the archers because it's a lot of pop-capped cities. And the archers are trying to oppose the giants, but it's the forestry and getting some chops with the forestry that helps these riders come into the game.
I love
really
this
activate. Play. Yeah, no, go ahead, talk about it.
So this play is taking full advantage of giants pushing, using the riders to bop, apply some extra pressure right over here. Now all we need is to be able to level up our city of Gufla, get ourselves a swordsman, giants pushing our warrior off to the city to be able to then siege a second city all at once. Essentially getting a free road for a warrior without the roads tech. Also being able to then further support this attack with another giant. Also with the monument, able to level up the southern city here. The economy is just exploding out of control. It is such a beautiful play.
Boom, the Rider Roads are already causing enough problem for this army of only archers in these, pretty low-level cities, all level 2 right now. Add a giant to it, and then things get really dicey. Like, you're not keeping Iroko. Maybe you could have with, mathematics play, but again, need a little bit more in terms of economy, get that kind of thing going.
Only way to do
Because those 2 cities siege every turn.
And at this point, he now has to choose because that giant is going to secure the siege. So goodbye, trees. You won't be missed. But they will be increasing the coffers of Eugene. And suddenly, this game is no longer 4-2, and it's tied up 3-3.
Yeah, the archers are doing a really good job. Huge line of archers. The giant was successful in its goal. Captured the city, but doesn't seem like it's going to be useful for too much more at only 14 health. Yeah. It does open up this line for 2 big archer kills. The sword is finally entering the game and ready to siege this roofless city. It's going to need to be defended.
It's really, really strong, especially since Rider Roads are really strong against the archers. Just pumping out those riders every turn, securing another siege, having a swordsman in the back, and these archers are backpedaling.
And there's a knight.
Plays.
A knight play? How is this game still going on? This is beautiful to watch. That is a siege with the swordsman, and at this point will not be. That is another siege, a double siege onto the capital. Eugene's going to have to give that city up.
And boom, does not even care about the knight, about the capturing the city of the swordsman. Going to advance the swordsman to the capital. Aim for the crown. This roofless city, you've already gained enough space with your knights and aggressively positioning all your units forwards. So you can capture off a 2-health rider. They don't have anything that they're going to use. Suddenly, problem though. Finally get the roads and this giant. Giant's the problem. You can't just siege the city with your vet sword. But I'm doing a quick preliminary unit count. I'm looking at it like that's a lot of knights and riders and a few warriors. Yeah, the giant has to run back to just try to defend this city. All this space. But look, the west half of the map is really open. And it's all going to the Black Barter.
Yes, Living Boy is chasing his opponent recklessly.
And instead of going straight for the capital, saying, look, I understand you're going to protect the capital, but I'm going to cut off your line of reinforcements, now focusing the western city of Lecarc. If he's going to able to secure the city, absolutely cutting off all potential reinforcements, and that capital will go down. A second giant coming out.
Trying desperately to defend this. Just really awkward with where all these units are over in the west. You gotta get them through the mountain and all this land. And you can't line them up too much either because of the knights. The Giants are doing the best they can to try to defend this capital, but it's really all they can do too. Trying to zone of control by moving that knight up north. But Slimming Boy does not stop. He just keeps going with riders and knights. I'm going to siege that city. No, you can't have anything. I don't want you to.
Now even contesting for the ruin. If a swordsman pops up right over there, that's going to be spelling lights out. So has to be making the big play and saying, I have to take this ruin, even if it's not for myself, just so that way you don't get it. But that's fourth unit, bop-a-da-bop, going straight into that giant, applying even more pressure. And look at this massive wave of units in this empty territory in the north.
And here we go. The Giants moved away from where it needs to be.
That is a 5 knight chain. All of the forces.
Knight chain is still there.
Oh,
around the world. Around the world. Nothing to defend the capital, and that's the game. Sling Boy chases him out of the position all the way around the world.
That was really rough.
Intense game.
Yeah, there's no network monument, but we're still 3 pops short. Wait a minute. Hold on, am I missing something? Where's the shared fog? Interesting. They're actually I assume the game is for the most part done, but he absolutely could have continued with the Grand Bazaar, as well as the Eye of God. I guess it's just because of this knight's here in the back, there's nothing you could do about it.
Yeah.
Oh, that is rough. That was
demoralized out of the 2 money push.
Yeah. Morale definitely will be playing a part in there, but he definitely could have gone on for maybe another 7 and turned it around. Because look at this other detail right over here. Sure, you're not going to be able to spend a lot onto the water this turn, but just defend on this city right over here this turn, because there's no way a second knight is going to be sneaking on into here. So potentially try to get a defender here, get a defender here, some 2 backup riders here to start pushing back. Starts getting onto the water and start pushing the enemy away, because sure, he has all this land up here, but you'd be able to make a comeback here onto the water potentially, if not just to defend your cities.
How much health points did those giant have?
Let's see, we got 23 and 35, so there is quite a few on this forest one over here, and this giant could definitely survive another turn just on his own. Rough.
But I guess the morale was so low at this point for Eugene that he decided to give up. So I think here it's maybe a bit more obvious what went wrong. I think early archery wasn't a good choice. Would you agree?
Early archery at the expense of those other city upgrades. I'm imagining a stronger defense with just like mathematics giant on that. Look at that lovely forest over on that city, over on the northeast edge of the map. You can pick up a math giant there, then you can defend and win, because instead of like a 4 cities against 6 that it was, after you claim everything over in the west, looking at like 8 cities against 2, you're the first one to get all those giants.
Because even if he left those city open, it would be like much better, because then he kind of unsieges without any cost, right?
I'm going to go ahead and also call out this play right over here, opting to keep the warrior on this city when it has a perfectly fine spot to defend the city with as well, and prevent a rider from just sneaking on over to siege the city. I think I wasn't taking enough advantage of these forests while having the archery tech against a whole slew of riders. Sure, the giant still would have come out, but you could have been better equipped to deal with this little rider rush. The gamble for archery,
tactical slip-ups.
Yeah. I don't think archery was
by the opponent are tactical brilliances when you find them. So it was the Skin Barter's loss, or Slimming Boy's brilliant victory. All framing, all narrative.
Yes, we have the power of foresight, but
that is true, especially on an aggressive strategy like that. You really got to invest a lot, because you not only are investing the current turns in economy, you're sacrificing future star production as well.
Yep. So let's I think that's all. Let's move on to the next game. So who's playing here?
Alrighty, right over here we have Mr. Ice P versus Slimming Boy, who's playing as the Quetzali Green, the tribe with the best music.
Yeah.
The Yadak fans are feathers ruffled.
Yes, they will go after you, Tolbby.
Oh man, I don't think there's any Yadak fans in the chat. So prove me wrong.
Are there any Yadak fans in the chat?
Well, in the meantime, this is going to be an archipelago game, so much more Navy focused sometimes, or potentially a really aggressive strategy with some very beautiful roads and bridges, as bridge potential is everywhere. What is your preferred method of style on these what sort of guidance can you offer us, Eno?
It's kind of hard. You gotta see what your opponent's doing too. So detailed looks at the score, everything. I mean, like this guy, this village down south can head straight northeast and try to claim this kind of city. Then how do you control the bottleneck? Do you put archers behind it, even though you're kind of tight on space? Maybe a single catapult's good enough. But what's your opponent going for? Are they in the water and able to shoot? It's kind of like a rock, paper, scissors. There's lots of ways you can go about doing it, but you got to find the right one for the job.
That sounds absolutely beautiful. Once again, we have Berghoff versus Barter. Without further ado, let our players immediately start off with their first turn workshops.
Already, ignoring the fruit down southwest and going on the little lake detour, the scenic drive out west. I'm gonna go ahead and meet anyways.
Quite interesting. So, an archery pickup. Very interesting. An archery pickup from Slimming Boy. Meanwhile, we have Mr. Ice P absolutely going with the sailing strategy, seeing if they can get their units to claim the water. Now, the water is much more expensive. Archery is going to be the cheaper way to go. We'll see if this trade ends up paying off.
Yeah, that's the thing about archery. That kind of middle city between those two capitals, that you need to defend, because it's nice to have as long as you can defend it. Like, the rest of your cities are fine. You can build up your presence on the map from there. But against something like archers, which are just not going to take damage, you just keep losing and losing and losing more and more health the longer it goes on. You need to find a way to like lock down that bottleneck, and probably should not train a warrior there right now. Just don't open up the opportunity to siege.
Yeah, I'm
It's kind
having
of a
like a
lame duck
deja
city.
vu after this last game. You know,
Yeah.
this time with archers, not riders, but yeah, definitely deja vu.
Archers are sneaking
I was
forward.
surprised the raft didn't go ahead and siege. Wants to keep it around for something else later on.
There it goes. They found them. The archers are actually now in range of these scouts. Now, archers cost 3 stars. Scouts cost minimum 7. So a single shot from this archer onto the scout is going to be very costly. Especially when the two players are very close like this, being able to go with the cheaper units. 2 more scouts locking up the city in the north. A quick killer monument to get that to level 3. And again, every hit from an archer versus a scout is an advantageous trade for that archer. Not a single player is even considering either riders or roads here.
Yeah, I think
the
going
scouts
into
are
water to try to defend, it's just way too expensive. You don't have enough tiles to put your units on. They're all locked in and actually just getting rid of the single warrior. So now you've got some problems. I think the strategy of rider roads for Mr. ISP probably would have been a lot stronger at defending and actually countering the archers. That's the other big problem with these scouts. They're never going to move up and actually hit the archers that are plaguing that central city.
A couple of bridges, a whole bunch of roads, and riders to be able to try to zip in, because all of these ranged units are really low on defense. Now, roads are expensive, but boats, all of them are just constantly getting chipped down. I don't think these scouts are quite paying for themselves as much as Mr.
And roads is, like one-time expense. You don't have to, build them every turn. So once you build them,
oof, a big mathematics ruin.
Oh man, that's so big right there. Sieging with an archer and a line of 5 archers, a bomber. This entire front is completely locked down.
There we go, riding into chivalry.
Chivalry. Forget roads. Let's just go ahead.
I think he timed out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the giant did not capture Rogru.
Yeah.
Pressure's too much in these live games. Yeah, but no time to actually train the knight. Ran out of time before it could come in and pick up a nasty chain to defend.
Let's go ahead and check the ending stars to see what that was at.
Some disbands.
He has
The disband's
one
just
knight.
enough to get 8.
Just one knight
way
back
in the
there.
back. Oh yeah, knight does come out right in time, I guess. Now it needs some roads or like forestry and chops. Maybe that's why Roger didn't get captured, to make the tech cheaper.
Yeah, we'll go with a tactical misplay. We'll see. I mean, the tech cost thing is very important. But now
Especially
he's getting
these sieges.
It's 2 sieges going on, so all he needs to do is pick up that forestry. It sells
forestry
the giant 3 chain, 4 chain.
I guess the chain realizes, wait, my position has already collapsed and fallen apart. There's nothing to play for.
But do you think like going south was the right way, or rather,
safer.
east?
Yeah, south's definitely safer.
Okay.
Less in range of their other units, and you can see that it's not going to chain into anything more east. But yeah, he was nasty. That you'd hate giving up a village to your opponent, but Mr. Ice P did not find the strategic reserves to actually make that village an advantage. Instead, it was just getting sieged the entire game.
Yeah.
There is also one very key piece of information from Mr. Ice P. This defensive shield around the health of the warrior, immediately telling that his opponent has archery. So unless he's planning on matching that himself, or even going with riders, going south is definitely going to be the better play here. It'll be a lot more defensive. Because he's not going to win against these archers. Not without some form of speed or mobility. However, I don't know if sailing was the right way to go, because
riding was definitely. I remember this game which Vorsh I think played against Anva. Maybe there was this one where he actually won with on Archipelago with riders. So then obviously. Some navy followed up, but he was just killing all the units, Anva's units with the riders.
Yeah, I see the idea of trying to keep.
Fact, that's a game that I'm pretty sure is on the. No, go ahead.
It's really, really rough to call. But a navy is very expensive, and in this very small amount of space that's going on, unless you're switching to rammers, which we didn't see at all this game, these scouts are just gonna die in a couple hits as soon as the archers get close enough, and it's only a matter of time until that happens.
And also with the riders, sorry, Mr. Ice P had the access to Slimming Boy's capital and the city in the southeast, so pretty much all he needed.
There you go. All right, I'm going to let this one go ahead and continue to play in the background. Is there any other notes that you'd like for me to be bringing up about this game, Eno?
I mean, it's a very good explainer for, the diversity of strategies. I hear too often about how, this map type you do this map type you do this. Not always sailing for Arky stuff. And also, I mean, the key idea here is, a village like this in a really central bottleneck, double-edged sword, it is a good thing to have, but it's also a big vulnerability that you need to be able to play around.
The rough thing is having to invest so much into it to get giants out just to keep the city longer. But the moment that city is constantly being sieged or goes down, there goes all of your economy. So that's actually something I personally have to improve on when it comes to my games.
Okay, game number 3.
The third and final game going to be Slimming Boy versus Icy Inferno, the normal
Yeah.
qualifier for weekly.
Yep, that's one of the bullet champions, right? Icy is a well-known champion.
All
so
right.
what are the spawns here?
Got all the fruit in the world, the Slimming Boys Northeast, yeah?
Mhm.
Looks like at least 2 villages over there, spread out a little bit. And, a few barren field tiles over to the southeast, but importantly, pretty easy access to a lighthouse. I don't know, maybe Portergrove into, like, the craziest sawmill, like, in any of these games, like level 7 over in the west there. So
Yep.
a lot of resources, a lot of stuff going on, no water. Icy's got, similar stuff going on. Just a little water is hemming him in, the mountains hemming him in. Level 4 is the highest order growth I'm seeing for Sawmill. Like 1 village right away with the resources looking at. Let's see what the players make of this.
Yeah, with all those trees actually in the western side, you would be thinking that Slimming Boy would be in a really strong position here to get access to all these other resources. Oh man, the inner greed of me was just be screaming, just get a border growth. You get so many giants from there.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's more than
very tempting.
crap. Let's go ahead and let our players get their turn 0 workshops, and let's begin the game. Where are they going? Both of them heading towards the center of the map. Immediately, there we go. Finding some water access here in the northeast, as well as more water access here in the northwest. Are we going to be seeing a massive lake right over here on the outside?
Yeah,
It
we
definitely
might.
seems likely. And that is a wonderful cap explorer. Not cap explorer, but an explorer that reaches Icy Inferno's capital. I was wondering where that third warrior was headed. Southeast. It seems like Slimming Boy should be sending something else to the north. There's a village up there. But the archers, already making themselves good known. Stealing that city. And already, different, like same idea that we talked about in the last game, same core idea. This one big vulnerable city, double-edged sword. What are you gonna do? How do you defend it? And Slimming Boy's found a nice strategy with these archers. He wants to defend this village. Problem is, that's a nasty veteran swordsman, and you only have 4 archers now that even attack it. So Icy's going to use that fortunate ruin to go ahead and turn things around there. But not going to keep that forever. And it's no longer even a good village after those chops. Scorched Earth tactics,
barren
4
land.
cities on 4.
And as well as picking up mathematics, those trees in the west for me are just, again, starting to seem a lot more appealing. I'm really hoping that we could see a level 6 sawmill in this game.
Very bad explorer.
I think it looks like we're seeing things set up for level 5-1, just with the southwest forest being chopped. Looks like the sawmill is going to go there. Yep.
Yeah.
Still better than
level
nothing.
5. Yeah,
It's
that's still
gonna be a
the 2
lot of
giants. And let's be real, anything after 2 giants, diminishing returns. So very smart to be able to get the border growth like faster like that.
Quick question right over here for this forest tile that seems very important. Are you looking to expand either Toe Fork or Lockboo, these 2 central cities, in order to claim this tile?
Oh man, it wasn't on my radar just because of my good border growth. Where are the resources for that either city? Be like road, sawmill, and port spot for a couple ports like Oregon something. But it definitely, if either of them, it's going to be Lackboo. Like if it feels hard, it feels absolutely impossible on Toe Fork.
Oh, and instead of pushing forward, he's going onto the water. We've got 2 rafts. We've got our Juggernaut. Looks like Slimming Boy is saying, I am going to be fighting for naval superiority, but I love the look of this map. We've got a way to the north. We've got, oops. That's the camera doing that automatically.
Yeah,
for
technical
me.
difficulties.
Way to the north, way to the south, through the center, and then 2 central lakes, and boom, you've got yourself a hamburger.
Yep, beautiful.
No, it's absolutely a very smart play, Slimming Boy's part, to go into the water and ignore like the big juicy target of that central city. It is well defended with archers, soon to be like your opponent's got mathematics. That's going to be catapults you can't reach, like giants, the juggernauts around there. It's not a city you can reach. What you can reach though, go ahead, take that Flark city up north from through the water. Open the channel to actually go ahead and make some progress. Once he takes that city, he's got a commanding lead on that North Lake. Try to turn that into victory in the game. Toefork's kind of a bum city for him. There we go. Yeah, monument there for the Lackboo. Monument port. Big border growth.
Look at that Juggernaut play, getting massive splash damage, and all those archers are just wiped off the block. Counter siege at Flark, trying to get it back, especially with the aid of this catapult. And there's a veteran swordsman. That swordsman is going to zone out any units here on the coast. Flark is
chivalry pickup.
Chivalry? Do we have a knight hiding somewhere?
No, not yet.
Only 4 stars after, but he did pick up chivalry this turn. And you might hear advice about don't buy a tech if you're not using it. In live games like this, leave it to the pros. Saves them some time.
Yeah, there's knights.
Chivalry. And the knight's already there, ready to chain through those catapults and archers if anything careless happens. Slimming Boy's got to play pretty precisely to deal with this stuff.
Look at the location of that bomber here in the north. Not even with a bridge play, if he gets Flark back, this catapult is very safe. He does have an archer play that can ping, so that catapult is not perfectly safe. That is so much pressure. He needs to get that Flark city back, or else he's not going to be lasting too much longer in this game. The other way to potentially go is to be applying as much pressure to Toefork, but 2 catapults and now a bomber here is going to say no can do. Absolutely zoning him out between all of these squares. Anything any closer than these 3 squares is too close in territory. In fact, these 4, that is the entire lake. The entire southern lake is nearly completely cut off. That can.
And the knight is sitting there doing nothing. We haven't seen
no
any
breakthrough
action
in the center.
I mean, at least this
dead knight.
1 chain, 2 chain, 3 chain, absolutely able to secure the kill. Protecting the city of Gulen, Flark is able to now be siege, cutting that off. Multiple units are going to have to invest resources into that. But the giant siege here on the city of Gulen. At this point, we have more defenders trying to definitely say he's going to be putting more pressure, A, just to defend the city, and B, put units on the water. Where are you looking for any sort of advantage for Icy Inferno? What is he looking to accomplish here?
He wanted to get that knight chain into the catapult. Once the catapult's gone, get knights more freely around to maybe that bomber that's right next to the land. Then he can drop something on Flark, take that back.
1 chain,
never
2
chain,
3 chain.
Finally.
Try to take back that southern lake, actually get some presence in there. But it's slow going, especially because we saw a little a couple turns ago from IC around Gulen not getting the chain that he so desperately was trying to set up. But the big thing here is that he's lost all of his giants. And now, like, these bombers just feeling completely unopposed as these defenders just encroached into IC's territory.
Oh,
like,
man.
the catapults about it, but they're not doing anything about Big Guy Knight in the back. And you don't have any units that are actually going to defend this defender on Gulen anymore either.
That is 3 of the 4 cities. That's a 3 chain on the night chain. Oh my goodness! The counterattack occurring.
A
Unfortunately,
big chain, but no Gulen.
Gulen's
Gulen
gonna go
gone.
down.
Not even taking back Flark. There's nothing to play for here.
And GG. Oh, and another.
And then another
Mhm.
night chain. A
Chain.
counter night
Yeah.
chain. Killing the units in the back. Oh, what a beautiful back and forth. So at this point, the only out we potentially had for Icy Inferno, potentially in the next turn, which he doesn't have the economy for, is he needed his own bomber. Just imagine switching this unit to a bomber, absolutely cleaning up the rest of these units and securing the south. Losing the city of Gulen wouldn't be that big of a deal if he'd be able to accomplish that. But unfortunately, with these catapults now finally gone, no longer able to protect his capital, unfortunately, there's nothing left for him to fight on the land.
Yeah, it feels like a game of...
You're breaking up. I know, sorry.
Because where did Slimming Boy gain most
Mhm.
advantage? Ooh, is it still happening? Ooh.
No, like kind of better
Well-
now, yeah. Hmm.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, where Slimming Boy gained the most advantage was in taking control of that North Lake immediately. Icy was a little slower in picking up First Giant. Maybe just has to do with resources. Like not all of us have the big sawmills immediately, but we see these ports over in the north. No ports around Flark. And then as soon as these giant juggernauts start taking that, and Icy has no real way to defend it. He's got no real way to start getting into that North Lake. When that closed, he keeps trying. He spends a lot of effort. Effort goes into trying to make and like breakthrough, like uses Gulen to like slide a knight. But by the time that happens, it's a case of too little late. I mean, same thing. You should feel like, okay, if there are 2 lakes, and my opponent is, taking control of the North Lake, surely I go ahead and take control of the South Lake, Topherk City. But in the game, he ends up taking control of either. Too slow on both of them. Like Slimming Boy gets the bomber doing crazy things to Icy before, because it isn't trying to attack Topherk. It's too scared of the catapults that it's seeing around being pushed out there. And then it just ends up defending Gulen instead, which you have a host of land units doing that.
And do you think that moving this swordsman that he got from the ruin like around the lake was a good choice? Because then Slimming Boy had the opportunity to actually move his bombers closer to Icy's capital and pin it down.
Yeah, it feels hard. Like you see this swordsman that you get here, and you're like, I would have liked it, closer to all my other stuff. But you just gotta, kind of bite the bullet, just bring it back to those units, bring it back towards the center where you will be able to use it. It'll be a little awkward to reposition everything. It'll take time, but eventually it'll get there. It's not the best ruin you could get, but you just gotta make do with what you have, not what you wish you had.
Any comments, Toby?
I'm just looking at the lack of roads on this map. This is such a good road opportunity, being able to just push here into the center. But in this very instance right over here, with the way these 4 cities are set up, you would be able to absolutely defend Flark if you actually had some roads in all of this. We had archers set up everywhere many turns ago, but these archers really weren't accomplishing anything. I just want to go ahead and bring it back over to here. So we do what needs to be done. We capture our central city here. We get some archers. We get some more archers. We get some more archers.
Yeah. And Good point.
We get a warrior. So that way, with the power of mathematics, we can get the ranged units of. That's right.
Giant.
You guessed it.
Yeah. So Icy was very, very slow. Yeah, with
another archer.
He could have pushed already because he saw the archer there in this one tile, and he could have just started attacking. Yeah.
We were talking about the last game about we were having 48 stars worth of knights doing nothing, but we had since the starting of turn 9, we had archers applying defense. But at this point, even though we are very limited on our vision here, we're cut off. But we see an archer here. Let's assume, because we do know there is a city here. Worst case scenario, there's a rider. We're going to go ahead and just put a really terrible art with a road, so he can move over 1, 2, potentially 3 spaces. And that's it. This is as far as he can go. Sure, he can bob it a bop, and then with a really lucky siege, he can siege the city here. But that's it. That is all that can be accomplished. He can secure a kill with an archer here as well. Move the archer onto the mountain for some reason if that technology is there. But notice, our opponent would have to invest a lot in order to just siege this city. What are all these archers doing?
Nothing.
Unfortunately, they're doing nothing. So I'm not going to necessarily say that there was a big
worse than nothing.
Yeah,
slowing down the giants.
Yeah. That is unfortunately is what was going on. The giants are being slowed down by about another 3 turns.
Yeah, because actually there was this one turn when those archers around the capital. I think it was here when it was like a double giant push, and the giant went south instead of going. Yeah, because there was a So now it's going south instead of going west.
Archer's got to move.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you gotta push the way you actually want them to be going. So this archer needs to move south. This archer, this archer just has to move. This one doesn't even have to move. Just this guy. This guy's got to go.
Yeah.
He's got to move here. He's got to move here. I don't care where he moves, but allow the giant to start moving forward with a push, and then put the giant where you want him, and just have the archer on the other tile or on this defensive tile right here. So unfortunately, I think this is where it all fell off, because also all these turns means less turn, not getting onto the water. So that way, as soon as turn 15 hits, boom. Juggernaut.
Yeah, maybe Icy was hoping, his opponent gets spooked with those 3 giants and kind of gives up or something.
Yeah, imagine
that's my only idea for this early game.
Yeah, if we're actually having all these archers for some surprise play going on over here, then just move this archer back over here or back over here. I don't care where he moves over, but just get this giant onto this spot over here. If you want to play defensive and play economically, make sure that your units go in the right position. So me knowing this player, I think it may have been just a spur of the moment, maybe low on time, minor misplay. But regardless of that, I think they both played phenomenally with what resources they had.
I also remember this game which Justini played against Cabanos last week, where he was kind of feeling comfortable, remember? And he lost so bad. Yeah. So maybe this was a similar situation when Icy was thinking, I have all these units and I will make a push at some point and it will be fine. Yeah. Okay. So a big moment. We have Slimming Boy with us.
Hello. Do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Hi, Slimming Boy. Nice to meet you.
Hello.
Could you tell us, before I start asking you about the games and the tournament, could you tell us a few words about you? Because you are not known on a wide Polytopia scene, so it's a big surprise. So far you are a dark horse of this qualifier.
Yeah, true. It's actually the first tournament I've ever played in my life.
Oh, okay. Nice.
It's really interesting.
Uh-huh.
I just saw there were World Championships, and like any player, I was just like, okay, I'll give it a try, and
Okay.
it turned out I got way further than I thought. So, yeah, that's awesome.
Mhm. So when did you start playing? How did that go? Like your whole story with the Battle of Polytopia.
I think it was about a year ago. I just saw a video of a YouTuber online, and I
Mhm.
said, well, I might as well try it out. So on my phone, I bought like my first Stripe so I could play online. I think it
Mhm.
was via deck, and it just clicked. So I played
Mhm.
more and more, and I stopped a little bit in the summer break, but
Mhm.
yeah, then the World Tournaments came, and I just played it and went very well. So now I'm as addicted as ever. So
Okay, so
yeah,
chapeau bas for this qualifier. Really good place against really good players.
yeah.
Maybe one last question before the games. Yeah, sorry, it slipped. Okay, anyway, so about the qualifier, how did this go from the beginning? Which part was the hardest for you?
To be honest, like every game was just so close for me that it
Mhm.
always just felt like a miracle that I won.
Okay,
Like especially,
so you were praying a lot. Maybe
yeah, yeah,
that's their
yeah, for sure.
secret ingredient.
Yeah, like I think I had like multiple times at the tournament that I thought, oh, okay, this is where it ends. Like, especially, I think you showed the game in this live stream as well. Like the first game you showed of Barter,
Mhm.
um, like when my second city got stolen or my third city, I just thought, okay, this is it. This game is
Mhm.
lost. And the guy I was playing against, like I was just really surprised by how aggressive he played. He
Mhm.
just swooped that city right under my eyes. And
Mhm.
in the beginning, he just seemed so dominant that I thought, no way I'm winning against this guy. But
Mhm.
then I actually won that game. And the second game, I had a lot better luck with like resources and like everything because
Mhm.
I got laked pretty hard in the first game and my city
Mhm.
got stolen. I was like in a 2v1 city disadvantage, and he also had access to all the other cities in the map.
Mhm.
So yeah, but this game was a lot more balanced, I'd say. So
Mhm.
I just did some textbook gameplay, and it just worked out. So it's awesome.
Yeah, I know what I wanted to ask you because uh, those other players that already qualified, they are like they've been playing Polytopia for quite a long time. So, and they've been training for the tournament because like everyone is following the news, so they obviously know. They did not see the announcement somewhere, like on the internet by coincidence. So did you train and like why Barter? Is it your favorite tribe or it was just
Um,
a kind of coin
well,
toss?
it became Barter because I just like the way you organize the tournaments. You have like 4
Hmm.
tribes each weekend,
Yeah.
and they are on all on different times. And Barter just came out handy with the time it was hosted.
Okay, so it fit your schedule.
Yeah,
Okay.
to be honest, it did.
Okay.
And, it yeah. After that, because I won with it, also became my favorite tribe. Of course, it's
Uh-huh.
the tribe I play most right now.
Uh-huh.
Um, I I did practice a bit in the days before,
Hmm.
but I think it was when I played, it was mostly just off my gut,
Okay.
and
So you
I
had a
was like
flow.
very focused when I was playing this because a lot of pressure.
Hmm.
And this was also the round. The games you're seeing right now is from the second round, and I
Hmm.
didn't even expect it to make it to that round. So I
Okay.
was just like super locked in for these games, and I think I could just focus really nicely, and that really helped me win.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, so you already like touched a bit on that. So which game in this qualifier was the hardest one?
Um,
Who was your
yeah.
toughest opponent?
I really one opponent that I really kept in mind was Hyper Mouse.
Hmm.
Like all of the players I've played against so far, I'm not sure what game it was that I played him, but all the players I faced so far, they were really good. But like when I played him, I just felt like I was suddenly playing at a different level of Polytopia. He, really
I think you played it with him in the final. Like
Yes,
surprising, but I think it was the final.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so that was pretty rough. But I think that was one of my toughest games, were all against him, and especially like the final game of the finals, the one where I got late that I just talked about. That was definitely the toughest so far. Like the moment that my city got stolen, I thought it was over, and I just played it to play because I didn't want to give up too early. But then
No, you did a great job. Your opponents like took the wrong path, and
Yeah.
like you actually with this crazy chase, because it was already quite intense, the way you like attacked him. I think it was
I just
it
was
tactic for like bringing his morale down, because we also discussed that he actually could have giant pushed this knight or rider that you sieged his capital with, and then like push back, because he had some cities in the back, so it was kind of savable. But yeah, but I think you actually crushed him, like psychologically, and that's why he resigned.
Yeah, I felt like the only way, like I was at such a big city disadvantage, and as you saw, my explorer went absolutely horrible, so I couldn't see everything he had. But I did know that I only had like a very small portion of the map, so I knew he had 4 cities and access to even more. So I just had to take a city, so I had to play super aggressive, and he also just allowed me to siege him pretty often actually, and I took advantage of that as well. Because even though the siege wasn't going to work, they could still steal his income and get paid of power and everything. And yeah, I'm not really sure what happened, because I maybe you guys figured out what his mistake was, because he definitely must have made a mistake to allow me to win it, because the advantage he had from the start was just so great. It was.
Yeah, so
I never got laked so hard in my life, to be honest.
So you can obviously watch the live stream later on, but we agreed that this Archer play wasn't the best, and he switched to rider roads quite late in the game, and he was giving you a lot of sieges and a lot of kills with those warrior being produced every turn. So some small mistakes which like grew to a big problem, and eventually gave you the win. And you also did a lot of like good plays with this, like chopping. This was great, because otherwise, if this giant wouldn't like came out on this turn, this game would also be lost. So like kudos to you, big congrats for this game.
Yeah, like that ruin especially saved me, because otherwise
I
wouldn't be able to take that city.
Yeah, you also need to be lucky. It's Polytopia. Not everything is like, it's not chess.
Makes it fun,
definitely.
Because otherwise all the games are just too repetitive.
Yep. Anyway, I'll give you some time with our commentators. So Tolbby and I know, go ahead, ask our guest.
Hello.
Anything.
Tolbby, you want to take the first question?
Sure.
I have a couple.
Are you going to be trying to make more of a presence into the Polytopia community now that your name is known by everybody and interact with the Polychamp team?
Well, I did actually join the Polytopia server on Discord, and I don't think I'll be very active there, because I just like to play the game, that's the main fun for me.
Yeah.
But I definitely enjoyed these tournaments, so I might play with some more later as well. Especially
join the Polyseum, because it's every month, so you will have a lot of games.
Also, Poly Champions as well have some very interesting tournaments, and but I don't think I'll be that active, to be honest, because I also have just a lot of real life stuff going on right now, so I can't go all in Polytopia.
Sure.
Yeah. And you were also going to say something, Innofunni?
Oh, yes. Well, I've had the privilege of having a personal relationship with all the people I've interviewed thus far, but not so here. I mean, as, community outsider. You talked about your story a little bit, but I was just kind of wondering, like, there's a chance of, like, you performing, like, competing in Stockholm, like, going
Yeah.
all the way, and winning the World Championships. And I'm wondering, like, at what point in this tournament did that, like, start to feel real, or does it even still feel real now?
Um, yeah, I think after I won the second round, it definitely like it clicked with me that I actually had a chance to go to Stockholm. Like I was just playing for the fun of the tournament because it's already really fun to compete even if you don't win. But when I won that second round, I was just like, damn, I actually have a chance. Still now, I'm still like a bit cautious with being hopeful to actually get there because I know that like the opponents I'll face in the face-off, those will be the toughest yet, even though I only have to beat one of them. But they will probably be like so good at the game that will be such a challenge even still. So yeah, I think it was like from the second round when I won that I realized that I was actually doing really well and had a chance. So it was from there. Yeah.
For sure. And do you think, like, what do you think was it, like, I don't know, the secret ingredient that took you so far? Or, like, what would you tell everyone else? What do you think characterizes you in, like, a word or sentence?
I think I just performed well under pressure, to be honest, because I think during the tournament I played better than I ever did before. Like uh, when I just play games during my free time, I try to play at my best, of course, but the way I played under pressure in the tournament was really just something else. I never been able to focus that much. So the thing that helped me win is just performing under pressure. And I also watched some videos of like Poly Champions and from Dingle and Justini. Those are also really interesting.
Yeah,
to
so you,
watch, and
you
they
have
help
the
a lot.
advantage that you can see how they play.
Study
So
up.
like you are like a kind of a secret, like a kind of a puzzle for them because they don't know you and then they don't know your place, but you can see them. Yeah, that's
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, pressure makes diamonds. Glad to welcome you to the community.
Thank you.
yeah. So Justini says yes, I got a shout out. So he says hi.
I've got
Uh,
one more
yeah.
since he's not been part of the community. So, do you have any other strategy game experience that helped contribute to your success at this game?
No, I don't think so. Actually, I think Polytopia is the first strategy game I really played. I also don't really play chess or anything, so I think it's just Polytopia that started it all.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, it's always great to hear and see a new face. Don't forget, anybody just like Slimming Boy here is going to be able to compete and make it to Stockholm. So don't be afraid to give it a chance if you've got the time.
Yeah, there are still qualifications going on. So anyone who would like to join, there is a link in the description. So go ahead to our website and join the tournament. Okay, Slimming Boy, it was great to talk to you. I'm glad we met you. Fingers crossed for the face off, and hopefully we'll see you in the final in Stockholm.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay, and that's it. That's all for this live stream. I had a blast. We had a really nice games, like comebacks from really difficult situations, as you saw with especially with Slimming Boy, and also like even if you are like not the best of the best, you can still beat the very good players. So yeah, so don't be discouraged, and then join the World Champions qualifiers. Anything to add? Last words, guys, before we go?
While we've been streaming, the Omaji finals raged on, and they've actually
Okay.
just come to a close. Dream
Who won?
defeat Rats 2-1.
Who
So
won?
really, Yeah, Dreamlander.
Oh, okay.
That's only won one of the 2 games.
Oh,
Kind of a upset victory, but
yeah.
make sure check in next week because we're gonna keep coming out. We want to show you the rest of the qualification process.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining the stream. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you Tolbby and Aino for being our great commentators as always. And I'll see you next week for more qualifiers.
Yeah. See y'all then.
Yeah, bye. Good night.